Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining Junction City today with your host, Craig Bielek. I'm excited to have guests today, Janae and Carol. And I know, a lot of you probably already know Janae. She hosts this program at times. She's also been a writer for the Standard Examiner. And now she's got even more to talk about, and that's this right here. She has a new book called Spiritual Reflections that she's here to talk to us about, and Carol happens to be one of her biggest supporters. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Carol's here to cheer her on.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Right? At some point, are you
Yes.
like...
No, I'm not a cheerleader.
You're not a cheerleader? You don't have like a big J painted on your chest or anything that you're going to like...
But I definitely will promote her book because I'm the biggest supporter of that.
Is that right?
And she's right here on the back.
Oh, she's on the back? Oh, so it's Carol Ralphs.
Yes.
Right there on the back. From Mountain Green, is that right?
Yes.
That's what you told me about that. Well, let's dig into it, Janae. First off, you wrote forever for the Standard Examiner, among other things. You also wrote other things. And then all of a sudden you decide to write a book, but not exactly, right? I mean, it's a little different than that.
Right. I got
way to sell it, Janae. she's like, yeah. no. I think what I'm trying to get to, and I'd probably just set it up all wrong, is that this is actually a collection of your writings.
Right. It's my Spiritual Reflections column that I had for 6.5 years.
Right. So you wrote that every week, and so 6.5 times 52 is a lot. But you had to like narrow it down into the book. How did you choose which ones you were going to put in here?
The ones that I chose were the ones that were more universal. So you don't have to be a particular faith to enjoy any of the columns. Okay.
So explain for somebody out there that doesn't know the book and hasn't had a chance to read it. First off, explain what it is. I mean, is it a mystery novel?
No.
Is it a historical report on tanks?
It's a collection of stories that illustrate different faith concepts. Okay. And I have a favorite one. I wanted to read part of it.
By all means do.
It's
as long as it's okay with Carol, because Carol's your biggest supporter, and I just want to make sure that it's
of course
it's all okay with her. Well, before she gets into this, Carol, why do you like this book so much?
Actually, I have read probably every one of her articles, and several times through the years she's touched on different people that we have that are friends in common. And so that's the personal touch that I've loved. And I actually have not read the book yet. And I am so excited to get started on it because it's going to bring back lots and lots of good memories.
Because you remember all of those things that she wrote on right?
I just remember how I felt. Yeah. Every single time I would read her column, it was uplifting. Yeah. It was inspirational, and it would sometimes get me through the day.
Well, and every once in a while, more than every once in a while, like often, you need to read something that just picks you right up, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And this is it?
Yep. It has been, and this will be a real picker-upper now.
A real picker-upper?
Yes.
It's the bounty book.
Yes.
The real picker-upper.
That's right.
On that. And in case you don't believe us, what we're going to do is we're going to have Janae read a little portion of her book right now, and you can get a little sample free. This is like Costco. You get a little free sample before you decide whether or not it's something you want to buy. Do you want to set this up, or you want to read it just like it is?
I just want to read it like it is. It won't take long. So this column is called "Candy Came from a Homeless Man."
Okay.
And it talks about my friend Nancy Grossheart. She is a deacon at the Good Shepherd Church. It's called the Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd, the full name. And we were there. We like to go to the lunch for the homeless that they have every week on Wednesday. And we were there eating our lunch with the homeless, and Santa came along, and he was handing out candy canes. And both of us told Santa that we'd been bad. And so Santa gave us broken candy canes.
Really?
Yeah, and we thought that was hilarious.
Okay.
And that's where it gets into this part. I said, we lamented about how we could be kinder to our husbands. We laughed as we compared excuses. How dare our husbands, in our warm houses where we sleep with full bellies, fall asleep with radios and televisions blasting, so we have to get up and walk across the room to turn them off. Our smiles at our broken candy canes couldn't have been bigger. That is, until the homeless man sitting next to me, whose name I hadn't even asked, gave me his unbroken candy cane as a gift.
Oh, wow.
So the book is a collection of moments like that, where I was covering stories for the Standard Examiner, where people actually illustrated different topics that you hear in church.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Carol approves. I was watching as you were reading that. She really likes that.
I would recommend this to anyone, just because knowing her articles, they are so, I mean, it really will. And it's not like you have to sit down and read for 40 days and 40 nights. You can read an article and then skip to another one, or choose a person that you remember. That's the neat part about it.
Yeah. You can give these as gifts, Carol? What do you think? I mean, are you going to give it as a gift to someone?
Probably, yes. Absolutely.
Yes, I would think so. I would think so. Janae, before we go too much farther, we probably should talk about how someone could get this book. I mean, obviously someone is watching out there right now going, oh, I want that. So how do they do it?
So you can go to my website, JanaeFrancis.com.
Okay, right there on the screen.
Yep. And you can also go to Gallery 25 on 25th Street.
Okay.
Or you can call me.
Or call Janae. Yeah, go ahead and give them your home phone or cell phone number. Call her.
Yes,
call her after midnight. She'll be happy. All that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff. What did going through all these articles and choosing the ones that you wanted, what was that like for you? I mean, was it a trip down memory lane? Was it a joy? Was it hard? Did you have to cut some out that you wanted to keep? Did you put some in there? Tell the truth. Did you put some in there that maybe you didn't want to put in there, but maybe fans like Carol said that's got to be in there?
No, I think that the best thing for me was that it had been long enough since I had written some of them that I'd forgotten what was in them. And it was kind of like I was my own counselor while I was reading through them. I found some messages that I really needed in my life right now.
Well, that's cool.
So.
You read your own book and liked it.
Right, and I realized that I've written a lot about forgiveness. There's a whole section on forgiveness. And I think that forgiveness is something a lot of us struggle with. And if you can forgive other people, you're better off. And I like to tell people that forgiveness is something we do for ourselves. It doesn't matter if the other person says they're sorry or not. You need to forgive so that you can feel better, so that you can go on, so that you can have joy again.
Wow. Well, I think a lot of people don't ever think of it that way. You know, forgiving is doing something for somebody else, right? Wow. See that? You already got a little snip of the book right there, and so a little bit of advice. What's your favorite column she ever wrote, Carol? Can you think of it?
Well, there were probably 2 or 3. I love the columns that she wrote about Sister Stephanie.
Oh, yeah. I worked with Sister Stephanie for a lot of years.
Wasn't she incredible?
Oh, she was, oh boy, I've got Sister Stephanie stories.
I want to be her when I grow up.
Dozens of them. Yeah, me too.
She's awesome. And then my friend Marilyn and Janae's friend Marilyn, her mom, Barbara Tippett.
Oh, wow.
She wrote a nice article about her and her challenges in her life and the wonderful person that she is. And I love that one too.
That's awesome. So, are people going to recognize a lot of the names in this book, Janae?
Yes. They're the people that appeared a lot in the Standard Examiner.
Great. Photographs? Did you put any photos in the book?
Yes, there are photographs of the different people. There's also a lot of art by my daughter, Celeste.
Oh, wow. Who's very talented, I might point out.
Yes.
I might point out. Well, I like what you said about forgiveness. Especially that little chapter that you read about the candy cane, forgiving your husbands. I know your husband, and I'm sure that you've learned a lot about forgiveness.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. Really, my point was that turning off the TV wasn't that big of a deal.
It really isn't, is it?
No.
Yeah, come on, you can do it.
It was about I shouldn't be.
You can do it, especially now they make a remote. It's really not that much effort. It is, and it's all done. Janae Francis, an author. You probably used to reading her columns in the Standard Examiner. You can find a little collection of them right here in Spiritual Reflections book. You can get it at the gallery on 25th Street.
Yes.
Or just check out JanaeFrancis.com. This is a good book, pretty weighty book. I'm sure there's a lot in it. She brought along her very own cheerleader, and yes, we allow that. Carol Ralphs right here. Yes. Who just loves Janae. She loves her columns. I'll bet after you read this book, you will too. Junction City Today, Spiritual Reflections with Janae, Craig, and Carol. And we hope to see you again. And more than anything, we hope that you will read this book and get something out of it.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
You did awesome.